Discover how one amazing brother transformed a family feud after 12 shocking minutes in the lake. Charlie Morgan stood under the hood of an old pickup truck, grease smudged across his hands and the worn surfaces around him. The warm summer sun filtered through the mechanic's bay, illuminating a world Charlie felt increasingly disconnected from. He could hear laughter drifting from the lake where families splashed and sunbathed, their joy a sharp contrast to the turmoil swirling in his mind. At 34, he felt like a mere shadow next to his brother Mike, who floated effortlessly through life in crisp suits and polished shoes. While Charlie struggled with debt and a fading dream of owning his own garage, Mike thrived in a corporate law firm like it was second nature. Their father's pride in Mike gnawed at Charlie, each family gathering a reminder of their fractured bond, always lurking beneath the surface like unsaid words. As the family reunion approached, anxiety squeezed Charlie's chest. He prepared for the familiar battle of judgments, either direct or subtle, that would inevitably unfold over awkward conversations regarding careers, experiences, and expectations. What did he have to offer that could stand in Mike's shadow? The weight of it was choking, a suffocating blanket of inadequacy. He could already hear their father's voice, sounding disappointed. "You just need to try harder." But Charlie knew the truth. He worked harder than anyone believed, wrestling with old engines and stale oil while his dreams of becoming a renowned mechanic slowly dimmed. Before we continue, I need to tell you about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, click the bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can leave a like, it really helps with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now, let's continue. Tension rose as the family reunion drew closer. The thought of sharing space with Mike felt like a looming storm, threatening to unleash years of repressed frustrations. Charlie trembled at the thought of facing the judgment in Mike's eyes, which made every interaction feel like a battle. He had worked hard to pursue a craft that meant everything to him, but Mike held the power of success, and there was no escaping the truth. They had become strangers bound by blood but divided by ambition. It gnawed at him the way his brother spoke of success, as if it were a commodity, obtainable with a few decisions in a boardroom. Charlie wrestled with anger and envy, knowing full well that personal resentment only bred bitterness. As the family gathered by the lake, the sun dipped low, casting long shadows on the dock. An unforeseen accident unfolded. Mike, unaware of the depths, slipped off the dock, plunging into the water. Panic wrote a new chapter that day as Charlie's heart lurched. The instinct to save him surged. A rush of adrenaline overtook Charlie as he dove in. For those 12 dark minutes in the water, the past crashed over them, all the hurt, the comparisons, the shared but broken moments of joy. Each stroke toward his brother felt like both a fight for survival and a chance to wrestle with their unsaid truths. The weight of their family's legacy draped around them, heavier than water, choking them both. Would they truly find a way through the depths, or would they drown in their history? As they struggled for breath, the question remained, could they rebuild the brotherhood that had long since crumbled? Emerging from the uncertainty of the lake, Charlie pulled Mike to safety, their breaths heavy with the weight of survival. Water dripped from their clothes as the echoes of exhilaration and panic reverberated in the air, a potent reminder of how fragile their connection had become. For a moment, as they lay gasping on the dock, it felt like a rebirth, two brothers stripped of pretense, vulnerability laid bare. Yet, as they waded through the murky waters of their shared experience, Charlie's mind remained a battlefield. The adrenaline faded, leaving uncomfortable silence blanketing them. The laughter from the gathering echoed at the far end of the lake, punctuating the tension with reminders of normalcy. What was he supposed to say now? Words hung in the air, heavy and unsaid, just like the repair jobs that haunted his dreams. Mike regained his footing first. The shock of what had just happened flickered in his eyes, though his expression quickly morphed into that familiar mask of composure. "Thanks, man. I didn't see that coming." Mike said, a slight chuckle escaping his lips, but it was a fragile sound that didn't quite reach his eyes. Charlie nodded, his heart still racing, but the undertow of their sibling rivalry pulled him back. Maybe if you paid attention for once, he quipped, a defense mechanism slipping through the cracks of his facade. Humor, a shield against deeper scrutiny. Mike's smile faltered, and Charlie recognized the glimmer of annoyance beneath the surface. The distance between them solidified once more, a chasm filled with years of misunderstanding. Charlie could feel walls rising, the familiarity of animosity creeping in, but this time something crested, a wave of determination flowing within him. You know, Charlie started, hesitating as the words tangled in his throat. Those moments in the water, they reminded me of how much we haven't talked. I mean, really talked. Mike's gaze shifted, uncertainty lapping at the edges of his cool demeanor. For the first time, Charlie noticed a crack in his brother's armor. Perhaps, just perhaps, he wasn't the only one struggling to navigate the depths of family expectations and personal ambitions. You think we can just fix everything with a conversation? Mike's voice was clipped, defensive. Yet, in that moment, Charlie saw a flicker of hope. Perhaps this could be the start of something different. I don't know, Charlie replied, the honesty within him breaking free. But if we don't try, we'll drown in this feud. We need to talk about us. As the evening sun began to set, casting a warm glow that enveloped their figures on the dock, Charlie took in a deep breath. His palms were still slick with lake water and engine grease, a reminder of the world he belonged to. I have a plan for that garage, Mike. I need support. The silence stretched between them, heavy with unspoken thoughts. Would Mike embrace this change? Would he see the brother desperate for recognition rather than the failure lurking in his own shadow? But then Mike broke the silence, his expression distant, as if he were weighing the words before him. You think you can do that? Really? Charlie felt a rush of determination. This was more than just an exchange. It was a challenge to redefine their connection. I know I can, and I want to prove it not just to you, but to myself. Mike's brow furrowed as he absorbed Charlie's intensity. Standing on the precipice of a new beginning, Charlie felt a surge of hope, fueled by the undeniable truth that they had the power to script their own narrative, one with potential for reconciliation and growth. As the last remnants of daylight faded, they both turned toward the campfire that flickered in the distance, its glow inviting yet ominous. Could they truly overcome what lay between them? With uncertainty swirling around them like the twilight mist, the brothers found themselves at a crossroads. The question loomed larger than ever. Was this the end of their rivalry, or the beginning of something entirely new? Charlie steeled himself, ready to confront whatever might emerge from the shifting tides of their relationship. Because the next conversation would not only define their present, but could alter the course of their futures. With that realization, Charlie could feel the undercurrents of transformation surging through him one way or another. The moment to face their truths had arrived. As darkness cloaked the lake, Charlie's resolve began to crystallize, tinged with the faintest hint of optimism. He pushed away the remnants of doubt lingering in the corners of his mind, and focused instead on the palpable energy that coursed between him and Mike. That split-second decision to risk himself had changed everything. No longer could he merely float along the surface of their rivalry. He had plunged into the depths of their relationship, and it frightened him just as much as it exhilarated him. They sat side by side, the usual tension between them simmering just below the surface. The evening air transformed, laden with the promise of uncharted waters. Charlie turned to Mike. I understand we've always been competing, but I think I'm ready to shift gears. It's just, I can't do this alone. Charlie's hand tightened around the edge of the dock. The earlier camaraderie felt like an illusion, yet a spark of vulnerability lay cracked open between them. Mike's features softened for a fraction of a second, and Charlie seized the moment. What if we combine our strengths? Your automotive expertise, my ideas, we could create something remarkable together. A scoff left Mike's lips, but there was something unguarded in his eyes. You think that just because you have a plan it'll all be easy? No. Charlie answered, his voice steady, "But I believe it can be a starting point. It's about more than just the garage. I want to build us back too." Mike shifted in silence, and the weight of unspoken grudges hung palpably between them like a heavy fog. Each moment stretched, as if testing the limits of their willingness to open up. "What is stopping you, Mike?" It was now or never. Charlie had breached the wall that stood between them, and had to push through. "You're always so quick to dismiss my ideas. Do you think I'm incapable of growth? It's not that. You've never really shown me that you wanted something serious." The challenge in Mike's tone struck a nerve, and Charlie felt a rush of frustration mixed with resentment. "You're right," he admitted. "But after today, I realized how much and how often I need to show up and own my decisions." In that moment, something shifted. The air felt charged, almost electric. Charlie knew he had put a crack in his brother's armor, but he needed to make it widen. "What if I told you that I could even show you a few tricks you wouldn't expect? I've been working on ideas for the garage I never shared, building designs that could turn a simple space into something exceptional." The flicker of skepticism disappeared, replaced by a dawning curiosity. Charlie couldn't help but be encouraged as he noted Mike's expression softening, if only subtly. "Like what?" Charlie leaned in, driven by a contagious enthusiasm that surged in him. "Imagine incorporating a community workspace, something where people can learn and grow alongside us. A stream of fresh ideas, innovative designs. It could be more than just a garage. It could become a hub for creativity." Mike's brow furrowed. The cool composure slowly chipped away. Charlie held his breath as he watched Mike process the concept, a blend of doubt and intrigue battling in his expression. "Charlie," Mike began cautiously, "you know I've never been the sentimental type. Creating a community space, isn't that a bit naive? Maybe. But isn't it time for us to take a leap? We both want something more significant. It's worth risking our pride over." For the first time in their shared history, Charlie sensed more than just competition. It was a call for a collaborative vision. As the shadows grew longer, so did the potential for growth and discovery. They stood at the edge of possibility, but Charlie knew he needed to go deeper. The conversation lingered, but time was racing by. Tension interlaced with excitement, and Charlie could feel the ground shift beneath them. How far could they push this? What potential lay just beneath the surface, waiting for them to dive deeper? As he mulled over these questions, determination solidified within him. He was ready to confront both the fears of failure and the thrill of success that awaited them together, and as anticipation fluttered around them, Charlie couldn't shake the feeling that a much greater challenge loomed ahead, something that might force them to not only confront each other, but themselves as well. Would they have the courage to face their own vulnerabilities and build something lasting, or would they sink back into the depths of their rivalry? The fire was at their feet, but its warmth felt distant compared to the urgency of their conversation. The night stretched out before them, an ever-darkening canvas awaiting the strokes of transformation that only they could create together. The silence between them flickered, charged with the weight of possibility. Charlie sensed that every moment they lingered on the dock was crucial, a tentative step toward collaboration or a retreat back into familiar animosity. His heart pounded in his chest, a mixture of fear and resolve driving him forward. "Look, I know we've messed up countless times," Charlie continued, his voice steadying, "but what if we could create something bigger than ourselves? I've seen businesses fail because they lack vision. I don't want that for us. We have the chance to blend innovation and experience." "Hold on. You're talking like we're already a partnership," Mike interrupted, irritation creeping back into his tone. "You think throwing around some flashy ideas will erase the years of mistrust?" The word stung. Charlie's mind raced to uncover a response that didn't come off as defensive. Mike was right. It wouldn't be instantaneous, and the past was a weight they'd both carried. Yet, something urgent pressed Charlie to break free from that weight. "No, I'm not implying we're there yet. But sitting here, arguing about it won't make things any better. Often, it's the discomfort that brings about the most change." Mike regarded him with skepticism, but Charlie was resolute. "Think about it. If we refuse to act, we're just prolonging a standoff. The garage needs a fresh start, and we need to choose to evolve, to work together. There was a shift in Mike's posture. He hesitated, fingers drumming against the wooden dock. It wasn't a full-on acceptance, but Charlie had sparked something. A gradual uncoiling of tension. "What does this really mean for you?" Mike asked, piercing through Charlie's bravado. "Are you genuinely ready to put everything on the line for this?" Charlie took a breath, feeling the warmth of the dimming dusk surrounding them. It was a profound question, one that required introspection rather than impulse. "It means I'm ready to be vulnerable. To admit I don't have all the answers, but believe in the path we could forge together. It matters to me whether I win or lose, but more importantly, it matters who I win or lose with." As those words left his mouth, a newfound clarity anchored Charlie. It wasn't just about the garage. It was about healing their relationship. His shoulders relaxed slightly. He felt liberated, as if shedding a heavy coat he'd been wearing for too long. Mike remained silent, his expression inscrutable. Charlie waited, feeling the clock ticking down the seconds of this fleeting moment of connection. He was acutely aware of what was riding on Mike's response, the weight of unspoken words simmering just beneath the surface. "Charlie," suddenly, a loud splash interrupted them, shattering the moment like a dropped glass. A figure emerged from the water, an unexpected intrusion that drew both brothers' gazes. It was their childhood friend, Alex, grinning ear to ear. "Hey, you're not going to believe what I just found." The moment dissolved into a cacophony of laughter, mock outrage, and playful teasing as Charlie and Mike shifted gears abruptly, their serious discussion overshadowed by the unpredictable specter of their past. Yet, within the levity lingered the implications of what they had barely hinted at. The prospect of true collaboration, the adrenaline pulsed through them, drawing them back into the carefree banter of youth. Charlie's mind raced. Standing before old memories was thrilling, but now he was also grappling with the weight of potential and how to harness it. Could he extract that newfound determination amidst the chaos? His eyes caught Mike's for a fraction of a second, and a glimmer of understanding crossed between them. The evening's opportunities were still very much alive, but where they would lead remained uncertain. Suddenly, Charlie felt overwhelmed by the urgency for action. He needed to initiate the next steps quickly or risk losing the momentum that had stirred within him. As Alex continued to regale them with exaggerated tales of his exploits, Charlie was already plotting. Before him stretched the path of transformation, the thrill of collaboration pulsating in his veins. But would his willingness to embrace change be enough to break the cycle of rivalry? The stakes were higher than ever, and Charlie understood that he needed to steer the course before an unexpected wave broke over them, plunging everything back into chaos. He sensed that something was shifting in their dynamic, but the time for true dialogue was fading. The lingering shadows of doubt and conflict were palpable as Charlie's resolve tightened once more. The lake was eerily calm now, a deceptive veneer full of potential ripples waiting to break surface tension. What would their next encounter reveal? He stood at the junction of past grievances and future fortitude. Would they drown in old patterns, or would they rise? The question hung heavy as he turned back to Mike, determination flickering anew. Charlie felt the charged atmosphere settle heavily over them. The laughter from Alex's antics gradually softened, leaving behind a deep-seated tension that loomed between him and Mike, still unresolved. The carefree banter had been a temporary diversion, but beneath it all, ambition and uncertainty tangled relentlessly. Charlie looked at Mike, who still seemed lost in thought. He used this silence to evaluate everything that had transpired not just on the dock, but throughout their rocky history. Doubts surfaced. Had he been too rash in believing they could make something out of the rubble of their past? It's time to step it up, he thought, and the conviction surged through him. "Okay, Alex, that was hilarious," Charlie half-heartedly chuckled, redirecting his focus. "But could we take a moment and think about where we're going?" He caught Mike's eye, the flicker of annoyance at having their fun interrupted, revealing the remnants of their bond. "I mean it. We've been drifting, and at some point we have to understand what we want. You talking about that garage or something more?" Mike retorted, a trace of vulnerability hidden beneath the annoyance. This was at the moment for a pivotal decision, the kind that could potentially alter everything. I'm here to talk about re-establishing what we used to have, and if the garage can be a part of that, then let us shape it into a foundation for something new. The challenge took root in the air, electrifying, and Charlie could feel every ounce of his resolve mingling with his brother's contempt. Mike took a moment, staring at the water with a faraway look. You make it sound easy. You think just wanting something is enough? Not easy, no, Charlie countered. But it's about the choice we make to try. That's the first step, admitting we can be more than what we were. The water lapped lazily against the dock as moments dragged on, pregnant with implications. Charlie's heart raced. Mike's silence felt like a battleground, each breath a temporary retreat from the vulnerability surrounding them. What if it doesn't work, Charlie? Mike finally asked, his voice low. What if we fail again? Charlie leaned closer, his sincerity radiating like the warm twilight surrounding them. What if we succeed? What if we rediscover that connection? The garage can't just be a place, it can be a symbol of something greater if we allow it. Reluctantly, Mike's walls began to crack. You really think we can change what happened? That's asking a lot of me. It's asking a lot of both of us, Charlie said, the weight of courage pressing down on him. Cultivating determination. But I can't do this alone. I've spent too long trying to figure things out in isolation. If I don't get your commitment to try, I'll end up wondering what could be been. Maybe that's the risk we need to take. Why now, Charlie? Mike asked, voice edged with skepticism, but softened by curiosity. What makes this different? Charlie hesitated, wrestling with the potent brew of hope and anxiety swirling inside him. Because I'm tired of pretending the past doesn't affect me, he admitted, a newfound earnestness creeping into his voice. I know we've got scars, but together, I believe we can find a way to heal. A thoughtful pause filled the space between them, with the dying light of the day casting long shadows against their introspective faces. Charlie recognized the complexity of their predicament. He had to navigate not only Mike's skepticism but also his own trepidations, the internal conflicts swirling like the waves beneath the dock. Just as a look of contemplation formed on Mike's face, a distant rumble of thunder broke the spell, prompting Charlie's heart to leap. Whatever we decide, we need to do it while this momentum is alive. Are you ready to confront everything that stands in our way? To dig through the muck? Yes, Charlie asserted, an intensity blazing in his chest. But the journey starts with a choice, Mike. Today can be the beginning. Fractures began to meld as they stood on the precipice of decision. Yet, as awareness settled back, Charlie sensed something darker stirring, complicating the path ahead. They would have to confront not only their personal demons, but also a shared history fraught with ambiguity. As lightning split the sky, illuminating the lake in a brief flash, Charlie felt the undeniable shift in the air. Will tonight lead us into a new chapter, or will it unravel into what we once knew? Mike held his gaze, uncertainty flickering along with the advent of a storm. The answer hinged on the commitment they were willing to make, but as thunder echoed ominously, Charlie realized there were elements beyond their control. Transformation lay ahead, yet the nature of the storm lurking in the distance hinted that the real confrontation was only just beginning. How far were they willing to go to reclaim their bond? The thunder echoed in Charlie's chest as he felt the gravity of the moment intensify. Mike's skepticism loomed large, just as the storm clouds threatened to swallow the fading light. Each heartbeat felt like a countdown. Everything hinged on these fleeting moments. He was thrust into the role of an advocate for change, tasked with rekindling a connection that had long been neglected and buried under layers of resentment. Listen, Charlie said, the weight of his words pressing into the silence. We can't change what has already happened, but we can decide how we move forward. He could feel Mike's eyes on him, intense with a mixture of disbelief and curiosity. What would it mean for us to rebuild in a place where we once thrived? Mike crossed his arms, shivering slightly, more from apprehension than the encroaching chill of the storm. What happens if the garage becomes another point of contention? Another failure? Only if we let it, Charlie insisted, his voice tightening with conviction. This can't just be about the space, it has to be about us. We'd be building more than a structure. We'd be creating a platform for real change. As he spoke, images flashed in his mind growing up, laughter echoing against the walls, the warmth of shared dreams. He longed to recreate those moments, yet knew that nostalgia couldn't drive them forward. There was a flicker of understanding on Mike's face, but he remained cautious. You really think we can get past all the baggage? You think those memories don't haunt me, too? Yes, Charlie replied, striking a fist into an open palm. But we can turn that energy into something constructive. Think about what we could bring back. The camaraderie, the creativity, a chance to redefine what being brothers means. As the first drops of rain fell, a palpable tension filled the air. Charlie was wrestling not just for Mike's commitment, but for his own redemption. He had grown weary of living in the shadow of their past failures. Each moment of indecision had bled into the next, eroding any hope he had for the future. It was all too easy to fall into a cycle of despair. Maybe it's time for us to own our stories, Mike, he said softly, earnestness pouring from his words. What if we shared our struggles, made that part of the element we rebuild upon? Honestly, I didn't expect to feel so much passion about this, but I do. I want us to talk about what went wrong so we can dismantle the walls built by our silence. Mike hesitated, his expression shifting as he turned that thought over in his mind. Charlie could sense the internal struggle, the painful skirmish between fear and hope warring within him. It was this exact impasse that had stifled their relationship for so long, a fear of reopening old wounds that might never heal. The rain began to pick up, mirroring the rising stakes of their conversation. You're asking a lot, Mike finally said, his voice quieter now, almost contemplative. You want me to be vulnerable? I am, Charlie replied simply. And I know what's at stake, but isn't it worth it? The only way to move forward is to acknowledge all of it. A thought crossed Mike's face, and for the first time, a flicker of something other than resentment shimmered in his eyes' interest, perhaps even hope. What if we really try? What if we fail? You've seen me lose my way before. Then we learn, Charlie responded quickly, emboldened by the shift. If we fail, we adapt. But what if we don't fail? What if we breathe life back into this? You've got to trust that I'm not looking to revitalize the good things alone. I want to tackle the ugly truths that bind us. That's the only way to reclaim what we lost. Another rumble of thunder shook the sky, louder and more threatening, yet oddly invigorating. Charlie was learning that courage wasn't merely about confronting others, it was about staring down his own doubts as well. The storm raged, each flash of light illuminating the gravity of their entangled lives, and he realized it was no longer just about the past. This new moment demanded exploration, growth, and resilience born from the very trials that had tried to break them. Just as clarity began to settle in, a powerful bolt of lightning cracked overhead, a reminder of the chaos they were about to unearth. Charlie took a deep breath, prepared for whatever lay ahead, recognizing that they stood at a threshold. Are you prepared to dive into this with me, Mike? Silence swallowed the air as the tension snaked tighter. No one could predict how deep this dive would go. What lurked beneath the surface? Charlie's pulse quickened. Change was coming, and with it, the chance to finally confront their demons head-on. Would they sink or swim? It was a choice yet to be made. Charlie's heart raced as the words hung heavy in the air. He watched Mike, his brother's face illuminated with flashes of lightning, reflecting the tumult within. Every doubt and every wound seemed poised for eruption, yet on the precipice of confrontation lay the potential for healing. What would it take for us to not just survive this conversation, but genuinely thrive? Charlie ventured, probing deeper into Mike's apprehensions. Such a question was steeped in risk. It demanded vulnerability, not just from Mike, but from Charlie himself. Beneath their estrangement lay an ocean of unspoken emotions, and every wave of the storm seemed to reverberate with the weight of their shared past. I need to know you're in this for the long haul, Mike said, his voice a mix of skepticism and guarded hope. You've made big promises before, Charlie. I know, Charlie admitted. The confessional tone shifted his perspective, granting him a clarity that cracked through his earlier enthusiasm. But this time feels different. For once, I'm not just trying to save face. I need to be part of something real, something that can change both of us. No more masks. As another surge of rain pelted the ground, a voice deep within urged Charlie to break the cycle of blame that suffocated their lineage. He had often been paralyzed by a plethora of excuses, feeding into the narrative that he was merely a victim in their story. That mindset was what he sought to dismantle. I've spent too long avoiding the mess between us, waiting for it to somehow resolve itself. But standing here, I realize I can't change the past from a distance. I need to engage, to explore those difficult conversations. Mike's brow furrowed. You really want to dig into the things that hurt us? The fights, the failures? Those conversations left scars. Absolutely, Charlie replied. In a sudden surge of determination, he continued, but scars are proof we survived. If we discuss our pain, we can also acknowledge our growth. I want us to build a bridge out of our chaos, to transform our joint history from something toxic into a source of inspiration. The idea floated in the air, fragile yet powerful. Mike's gaze was unwavering, assessing. Charlie could see the gears turning, a mixture of pride and hesitation playing upon the contours of his face. Mike had always been the cautious one. He embraced security and routine, while Charlie held the wild card of creativity and impulsivity. As the storm began to wane, the rhythm of raindrops slowed, like a new heartbeat syncing in time with their evolving dialogue. Maybe we take it slow, Mike suggested, a tentative agreement lacing his words. We can tackle one story at a time. But I want to know you're committed this time. No backing out halfway. I'll show you, Charlie said, a newfound resolve solidifying within him. This is my life, our life. I refuse to let fears dictate how we interact and how we rebuild. The clouds parted slightly, allowing a sliver of moonlight to seep through, illuminating both their faces. That glimmer wasn't just a fleeting natural phenomenon. It represented the first fragile step toward renewal. As the rain soaked their shoes and the chill in the air persisted, Charlie felt emboldened by the idea of exploring not just his family ties, but his authentic self. Questions flitted through his mind like moths drawn to that light. What hidden strengths lay within their shared history? What gifts had the darkness masked, waiting to be rediscovered? I want to channel every ounce of this raw moment into something meaningful, Charlie murmured, almost to himself. I want us to nurture the roots of authenticity. Let us excavate these stories together until we find the truth at the center. With Mike's tentative smile beginning to unfurl like the dawn of a new day, Charlie sensed a shimmer of hope, a mutual agreement brewing, ready to shatter the long-held barriers confining them both. But as they stood in the aftermath of nature's spectacle, a new tension crept in, thick with unaddressed emotion, lingering questions that colored the air. What would this commitment require of them? What truths might emerge that even they were unprepared to face? As every fear and question conjured possibilities of both triumph and despair, Charlie felt an electric pulse of urgency course through him, eager to forge ahead. Are we ready to uncover those truths, Mike? Can we bear the weight of honesty? The challenge hung unspoken, a weight poised on the edge of realization, inviting them into the depths of rediscovery. Charlie's breath held a mix of excitement and dread. Would they rise together to meet the unknown, or would the tides of their past swallow them whole once more? The thunder had quieted, but the palpable tension in the air remained, thick with unspoken words and unresolved feelings. As Mike's smile flickered into view, Charlie felt a surge of determination. This moment could not be squandered. It represented a crossroads, not only for their relationship, but also for Charlie's journey towards self-discovery. I'm the one that needs to change, Mike, he began, feeling the weight of accountability settle upon him. All these years, I let resentment and fear dictate how I responded to everything, including you. Talking openly about this felt foreign, yet liberating. The gnawing regret for past grievances threatened to stifle Charlie, but he pressed on. I want to confront my own side of the story and finally own up to my part in our struggles. Mike shifted his weight, looking deeply conflicted. That sounds good in theory. But how do we know this isn't just another round of empty promises? The question stung, yet he recognized its validity. Charlie inhaled deeply, breathing through the discomfort. Because I want to just be saying all the right things. I'll take action. I need to understand what drove our conflicts so I can repair the damage. There was no other option. He would have to confront his deepest fears, including the self-loathing that echoed throughout his past. Despite the storm that loomed overhead, an uncharted clarity began to form in his mind. Conversations with Mike would unlock not only their mutual past, but also the person he truly wanted to be. They had to discuss the pain, and this time, he would harness it constructively. You say that scars are proof we survived, Mike said slowly, weighing Charlie's words. But what if the scars are too dark? What if we end up reopening wounds that can't be healed? Charlie's heart quickened at the thought. The possibility of diving into painful memories threatened to detonate their fragile truce. Nevertheless, he understood that if they were truly committed to rebuilding their relationship, those buried secrets must surface. It's a risk. I get it. But let us not hide from our own narratives anymore. I'd rather face our past than let it loom over our future. Mike's gaze locked onto Charlie's, the flickering light of hope dancing in his brother's eyes. How do you suggest we start? Let us pick one memory, a significant turning point. One that we both felt the impact of. The suggestion tumbled out with a sense of urgency. Each second felt critical. Time was slipping away, and the momentum they gained needed to be harnessed. All right, Mike nodded cautiously, steeling himself as past shadows loomed. But just one. And it will hurt. Maybe it will, Charlie replied, his voice steady despite the unease. But pain can also guide us to redemption. He could feel the undercurrents of brotherly loyalty intertwining with vulnerability, creating a bond that was both fragile and resilient. As darkness threatened to engulf their resolve once more, a flash of renewed hope surged within Charlie. If they tackled their past together, they could forge something stronger, something that redefined their relationship. He felt a weight lift, releasing shackles that had long restricted him, but within that hope simmered uncertainty. Would they really find closure in this? Or would revisiting these memories elicit deeper divisions? Each lingering question vibrated in the air, echoing louder than the fading storm. All right, let us start with your first memory, Mike said, breaking the tense silence, but the vulnerability of his tone held an urgency that countered any hesitations. As Charlie opened his mouth, determined to expose one of the painful secrets they shared, he felt something unexpected swell within him, the dawning realization that they weren't just peers discussing the past. They were a family rising to confront the shadows together. However, one thought remained fixed in his mind. Who would emerge on the other side of their revelations, and what new truths awaited? With an internal tremor, he took a breath and prepared to speak, knowing his next words might define not just their path forward, but his own identity. As Mike leaned in, the air thickened between them, charged with an electric anticipation that mirrored the storm's aftermath. Charlie's mind raced, each memory a vibrant flash that threaded through time, but only one rose to the forefront, a moment that felt like a crashing wave of regret. It was the summer we turned 18, he began, his voice barely above a whisper. Mom was working late, and you know how we fought back then. Mike's expression shifted, the shadow of recognition darkening his features. That night, the lake. Charlie nodded, the ache in his chest tightened. I said things I didn't mean, Mike. The names, the threats. I remember how hurt you looked when I pushed you away. He took another breath, positive that voicing this would release the tightening grip of past pain. And when you jumped into the lake, I thought, even then, that I was the reason you were willing to drown. Our words, they felt like stones, and I didn't pull you back. Mike's eyes darkened, transformed by a mix of sorrow and unresolved bitterness. It wasn't just the fights, Charlie. It was everything. That night, after you, I felt like I'd lost you, too. Charlie felt the frigid tendrils of regret strangling him. He needed to break through that wall. They needed to confront the shifts in their relationship that stemmed from buried misgivings and left both of them adrift for years. Looking at Mike, he pressed on. But you survived. We survived. It means something, doesn't it? Every blow, every argument shaped who we are now. There was urgency in his voice, a desperate plea for connection amidst the shadows that loomed over their past. Does it? Mike challenged. Does it make us better? Or are we just two brothers trapped in a cycle of hurt? That's just it. The fire in Charlie flared anew. We don't have to be trapped anymore. We can learn from what we've gone through. We can be better. Silence enveloped them, the kind that demanded instinctual reactions. As Mike processed his words, Charlie turned inward, questioning whether he had the strength to carry the burden of their shared history on his back. But the desire to redefine their future paralyzed his doubts. What if we had a chance to rewrite the narrative? Mike's brows furrowed, the tension still evident. And how do we do that while still confronting the ghosts of our past? By recognizing that those moments don't define us. They tested us, yes, but they didn't demolish our bond. Charlie's resolve surged, pulsing with an energy born from fear and hope entwined. We can start our own healing journey together. Not just as brothers, but as allies facing our truths. But even as he spoke, a gnawing doubt crept in. Was he truly ready to expose their scars to the light of day? What if revealing these ugly truths ultimately fractured them? Each glimmer of bravery was eclipsed by the fear of diving deep into uncharted waters. Mike's lips twitched, visibly wrestling with his own feelings. It's easier to pretend the past doesn't exist. But maybe you're right. The fragile foundation of their new dialogue felt precarious, yet exhilarating. The atmosphere vibrated with possibility, an emotional ebb and flow parallel to the chaos of nature surrounding them. Yet in the back of his mind, an unresolved weight lingered. What was the final cost of this confrontation? Was redemption truly within reach, or just another mirage along a treacherous path? As Charlie pushed the thought aside, his focus shifted back to Mike, a silent determination coiling within him. Let us take this step together, one memory at a time. Mike nodded slowly, a flicker of hope igniting in his eyes. All right, we'll do it your way. But as Charlie positioned himself to delve deeper, the gravity of their choice rested heavily on his shoulders. Was he prepared for the depths they might descend to? He steadied himself. Then let us keep going. What comes next? The promise of raw truth hung in the air like a double-edged sword, and with each passing moment, Charlie realized they teetered on the precipice of transformation, the kind that could either bind them closer or unravel everything they had built together. What unspoken secrets lay in their immediate future, waiting for the right moment to surface? Over the weeks that followed their transformative moment on the dock, Charlie dedicated himself to rebuilding not just his dream of a garage, but the frayed bond with Mike. They met regularly at the old shop, their conversations evolving like the machinery they worked on, shedding the grime of their past to uncover the core of their ambitions. One step at a time, Charlie reminded Mike as he flipped through blueprints for the garage. He had laid out a plan that included high-tech equipment, various workstations, and even a classroom for community workshops. This isn't just going to be my dream, it's ours. Those hopeful words marked the true start of their partnership. From the beginning, Charlie approached each challenge with newfound resolve. He attended workshops, not just in mechanics but in business management, focusing on how to attract customers and create an inclusive atmosphere. By communicating openly with Mike, the hostility began to dissolve, replaced by the excitement of shared pursuits. Months of living in the shadow were starting to be illuminated by the brightness of teamwork. Your vision is so ambitious, Mike admitted one evening, tethering his chances of success to Charlie's fearless leadership. I never thought we could blend our strengths like this. The compliment felt monumental, a solid acknowledgement that Charlie wasn't merely reaching out for approval, he was presenting his ideas with purpose. As the garage took form, both physically and relationally, the brothers started to witness tangible results. They gained attention from local investors, offering funding with the potential for expansion once they established a customer base. Charlie marveled at the difference 2 months could make. Once confined to flickers of inadequacy, he now embraced his newfound identity as a leader in mechanical innovation. The first opening day approached, and Charlie found himself standing in front of the garage that bore their combined efforts. "This is it," he breathed to Mike, the air thick with anticipation. "We're doing this together." Inside the space, rows of equipment glinted in the sunlight streaming through the windows, reflecting the years of struggles and repair. It represented more than a place of work. It was a symbol of their healing relationship and the triumph over familial rivalry. During the first grand opening, a line of cars formed outside, an unexpected wave of community eagerness and support. Charlie exchanged glances with Mike, whose expression mirrored his exhilaration, but it was tinged with disbelief. "You really did it," Mike said, a deep respect etched in his tone. "We really did it." "This is just the start, Mike," Charlie responded, an unmistakable confidence radiating from him. It was a new chapter, one that enriched the both of them. Amid the hustle and bustle, as they interacted with customers and shared laughs, Charlie felt the bond with his brother solidify into something unbreakable. Weeks turned into months, and each day brought a new lesson and an affirmation of growth. They structured their work to include community engagement projects, collaborative build workshops, raising budding mechanics from their transition, not just as employees but as partners. Charlie tapped into the compassionate side of his business, keenly aware they were not only crafting physical products, but shaping lives. And on the day of the first community workshop, a surge of pride coursed through him. They were in it together, teaching others how to rebuild and re-engineer, making the garage a place of connection, learning, and growth. "Look at what we're creating, Mike," Charlie breathed as they watched participants eagerly dive into the first class. "It's everything I envisioned. I never would have imagined this new direction for us, but here we are," Mike replied, the warmth in his eyes unmistakable. Charlie's heart swelled with fulfillment at the recognition. Finally, the garage was not just a venture, it was an embodiment of their shared journey. The obstacles they had once faced transformed into stepping stones, providing them with resilience and understanding. No longer defined by their rivalry, Charlie and Mike had co-created a legacy, a workspace born from chaos and discord but thriving in collaboration and authenticity. As they looked out at the new beginnings unfolding before them, Charlie realized he had fortified his identity an accomplished mechanic, a transformative leader, and above all, a brother who understood that personal growth begins with the courage to confront one's past. That day, as laughter and excitement filled the air, Charlie smiled, knowing he had taken steps that altered his narrative. In reclaiming his purpose and rewriting their story, they had truly learned what it meant to rise together. You need to subscribe now to see more incredible transformations unfold. This is the moment to show your support by leaving a like. It truly makes a difference. Comment below with your reactions and theories about this ending. And don't wait even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this powerful conclusion.